This is my first word on the last word, but not necessarily my last word. Hello and welcome to Intoxicated Masculinity. If it's Wednesday, we have a cocktail video coming at you. Today, we are going to do the last word. This is another equal parts cocktail. Next week, we're going to be doing another equal parts cocktail. We've done the paper plane previous, which is, the paper plane is actually a takeoff on the last word. This is a 4-part equal parts cocktail. The one thing on this, I've been looking up to see if there is a consensus on the type of gin to use. We're talking about gins this month because it is, of course, #January. And there didn't seem to be a consensus on a particular gin. I think most people seem to tend towards a London Dry. Now previously we've had cocktails requesting Gordon's and Ford's. I do have a Gordon's now. I have not been able to find Ford. Like I said before, I live in Iowa, and Iowa can be challenging to buy liquor. There are sometimes some very, very commonly available spirits everywhere else that for some reason will just be out of stock here. We have had a green chartreuse shortage for, I'm being told, something like a year now. I don't use a lot of green chartreuse, so I haven't had to buy it, but I do still have a bottle, so thank goodness for that for this cocktail. The last word was invented in Detroit. The dates, I think, somewhere between 1912 and 1915 at the Detroit Athletic Club. That's about all we need to know about the cocktail to make it, which is, of course, what we always hear the most about. So let's go ahead and put some ingredients into a shaker tin, shake that tin up, and drink the results. Okay, so again, since they didn't specify, I'm just going to use Beefeater. I think Beefeater is a good solid London Dry. It's affordable. You can find it pretty much everywhere. Well, mostly everywhere. There was actually a shortage of 750s here in Iowa. So I think I got the 1 liter, but that's all right. We'll go through it. Anyway, this is an equal parts. So a lot of the recipes you'll see will call for doing 3/4 of an ounce. I'm not going to do 3/4 of an ounce. I'm going to do an ounce because, you know, we've got problems, right? Okay, starting off. I'm going to toss in 1 ounce of our freshly squeezed lime juice. Now, interestingly enough, usually your base spirit is the last spirit you put in, but sort of the typical way bartenders do this is they're going to go their least expensive to their most expensive. In this case, our base spirit, our Beefeater's London Dry, is going to be our next least expensive ingredient. So we're going to toss in 1 ounce of our London Dry. Now this is where you could, I'm going to make this sort of as traditional Negroni would be made, or excuse me, traditional, that's next week. I'm going to make this sort of as a traditional last word would be made. So I'm going to toss in 1 ounce of Maraschino liqueur. Now I'm being honest, if I make this for myself, I cut back on this just a little bit. I might do 3/4 of an ounce of this and like 1.25 ounces of the gin. I just feel like the Maraschino liqueur is very good, but it's also kind of sweet. And our last ingredient always going to be our green chartreuse. Green chartreuse is kind of an expensive mixer. Here in Iowa, green chartreuse typically is going for around $60 to $70 a bottle. So definitely add that one in last. All right, so now we got all of our ingredients in here. Let's get some ice in here, shake it up, and get it into our bodies. Well, let's go ahead and toss that in there. And give it a good shake. All right, we're going to go ahead and double strain that into a chilled coupe glass. And this, in most of the recipes I found, this doesn't actually call for a garnish. So I am not going to use one. All right, and there you have the last word. So this cocktail is super aromatic. You will smell this as soon as you get all those ingredients into the shaker. Your Luxardo is adding that sort of cherryish kind of flavor behind it and some sweetness, but front and center is going to be your lime juice and your green chartreuse. Your green chartreuse is very herbal. It's very kind of very front and center. Your gin can very easily get lost in this. But it's just a super yummy cocktail, very alive. It just tastes very, again, very herbal, very citrus, very a little sweet. Again, with a full ounce of it with the Maraschino liqueur, it's a little sweeter than I would like, but not vastly oversweetened. Yeah, that's a great cocktail. It's kind of a cocktail probably more meant for springtime, but I think in times like this where we're in January and it's cold and it's snowy and all this other stuff, it's kind of nice to remind ourselves that spring is coming at some point. And on that bombshell, I want to thank everybody for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. Have a good drink, and have a good day. This is all staying in.